I was deployed when my wife and her lover visited my mother. The call came at 02:17. Not unusual for me, war zones don't sleep, but the voice on the other end wasn't military. It was my mother. Her breath was ragged, her tone desperate. She whispered like she was afraid someone was listening. "They were here." Static crackled, then silence. I pressed the receiver tighter. My heart stayed steady. Training does that. But inside, something shifted. Who? Her words crawled through the line. "Your wife. And a man. He told me to sign the house over. Said you're wasting your life in uniform, that you'll die in some desert for nothing." I told her you're a good soldier. She laughed. She said you serve coffee to real men. The line cut. The desert around me was silent, but in my chest a storm gathered. Not rage, not grief, something colder. A precision sharpened by betrayal. They thought I was a cook, a background figure in camouflage, disposable. They had no idea. The next morning, the unit was briefed. A mission was underway. My rank carried weight here, Major General, not chef, not servant. And yet, in my mother's small living room across the ocean, I was still the boy whose worth could be measured in how little his wife respected him. I remembered her voice on our last call, flat, distracted, like she was somewhere else entirely. She'd ended it with, "Stay safe," but the words were hollow, recited. Now I understood why. I saw the picture clearly, her leaning against another man, sneering at the uniform that had carried me through blood and sand. Him, threatening my widowed mother like a debt collector. I imagined their laughter when the door closed. The relief of thinking I'd never know. But I did. And silence was my weapon. For weeks I played the part. Video calls with her, smiles, casual words. I asked nothing. She thought distance insulated her, that miles meant ignorance. But deployment teaches patience, the art of waiting until the target exposes itself. I started digging, quietly. Phone records first. A second number that never appeared on our bill, but always on hers. Regular, daily. Then her location history. Late nights at addresses she never mentioned. I requested leave, approved without hesitation. My unit didn't question it. To them, I was decisive, unbreakable. To her, I was still in the desert. I arrived home 2 days earlier than planned. I didn't tell her. Instead, I went to my mother's house. She sat in her armchair, eyes tired, hands trembling as she recounted it again. He said if you die, the house dies with you. He said she deserves it more than a soldier who'll never come back. I put a hand on her shoulder. Calm, controlled. You don't need to worry. I'll handle this. And I did, methodically. I gathered what I needed. Photographs, transcripts of calls, a report that outlined the truth in black and white. Every piece a weapon sharper than steel. Not violence, exposure. The night I returned to our home, she didn't expect me. Her eyes widened at the door, shock flickering into a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "You're back early," she stammered. I stepped inside. No embrace, no warmth, just silence. Heavy enough to choke her. I placed the folder on the table. My movements were precise, mechanical. She frowned, hands trembling as she opened it. Phone logs, photographs, a transcript of her lover's threats. Her face drained of color. "I can explain." "Don't." My voice was flat, detached. The silence stretched. She tried again, panic lacing her words. "It wasn't like that." I leaned closer, eyes steady. I know exactly what it was. Her breath broke. She wasn't crying for me. She was crying because the facade was gone. I felt nothing. Only the cold confirmation of what I already knew. I pulled out the final page. a property deed transfer. Signed, not by her, not by him, but by me. Her eyes flicked to it, confusion mixing with terror. "What is this?" "It's what you wanted. The house, the life, security. You'll have it, but not with me." Her lips parted, trembling. "You're leaving me?" "No," I said quietly. "I left months ago. You just didn't notice." The power shifted instantly. Her tears weren't apologies, they were desperation. She realized the man she mocked, the failure in uniform, had been steps ahead all along. I watched her crumble under the weight of her own betrayal. No shouting, no violence, just silence. That silence destroyed her more than rage ever could. I walked out with nothing but my uniform. The medals, the stars, they didn't matter here. What mattered was clarity. I didn't look back. The night air was sharp but clean, free. People imagine betrayal burns like fire. They're wrong. Fire fades. This was colder, like steel against skin, permanent, precise. She would live in that house, with his shadow lingering, knowing I had seen everything, knowing I had walked away, untouched, unbroken. And that knowledge would haunt her longer than my presence ever could. I didn't lose a wife, I lost a parasite. And in losing her, I gained something better. Silence, final, absolute.